Yo, what's good? I'm back with another video, and this one's gonna be very different from what I usually do. The only even basketball related vids I've ever done was this one, like a year ago almost. But anyways, for those of you who don't know, LeBron's my favorite player. Go man, you feel me? He has been since like I was 11, and I like really watch games. If you remember his 2018 year where he played all 82 regular season games and was robbed by the whole ass media for MVP, and then carried the Cavs all the way to the finals and dropped this performance game 1, then this nigga JR is sold, bro. This nigga forgot the score. I could not believe it. I could not believe what I was seeing. Almost had me in the crib crying, bro. But the point is, that year, Bron played over 100 games and I didn't miss not one of them. Not one. So like, I really watch games, but I don't just pay attention to Bron games when it comes to basketball. I like a lot of different players, so I pay attention to all those players' teams and I root for them all the times except for when they play Bron, obviously. And one of my favorite players since he's come into the league has been Lonzo. And because of that, I started watching and paying attention to the Lakers like 2018. And that's how I was introduced to Kuz at the same time. Like, bro was the 27th pick, and as a rookie, he was arguably the best player on the Lakers that year. Had me like,
Sheikh, yo, T, what's good, bro? Huh? Yo, what's pop? Yo, who the fuck is this nigga?
For how late he was picked, he was looking like one of the best steals of the draft. But he really just played well with Zoe. Lonzo was one of those unselfish players where he'll always give you the ball if you're in a better position to score. Almost to a fault, honestly. But anyways, Kuz overachieved like crazy. He was so nice that some niggas were out here saying he's better than Jason Tatum back then. Which obviously nowadays, if you were to have that opinion, I would look at you like these. Ah, so you do crack. Interesting. But anyways, Kuz finished his regular season averaging 16 points, 2 assists, 6.3 rebounds on 45% from the field, and almost 37% from 3. And he made all rookie first team. That production from a 27th pick their rookie season is just wild. Like, just to compare it to Lonzo, who made all rookie second team, averaged 10, 7, and 7 on a disgusting 36% from the field. That boy was so sorry that year, I don't know what was up with him. So the point is, year 1 as a Laker, Kuz played great. And people actually say this was his best year to date. But I disagree. I think his second year was better. So moving on to year 2. But year 2, things changed up a lot because now it's like Bron's coming to LA. Now it's no longer a bunch of young players doing whatever they want, trying to get their numbers, losing a bunch of games. Now there's expectations. People are expecting you to win. You got people like Stephen A. like, they gotta make the playoffs. And there's high expectations on Kuz by himself too, because he's coming off a great rookie season. People are expecting him to improve even more. But to start off the season, Luke Walton had him starting at center. Dog, Luke Walton is one of the dumbest coaches in the league. I do not care. I don't know how the Kings still have him hired. But eventually he moved to regular starting power forward. And throughout year 2, Kuz increased his points per game from 16.1 his rookie season to 18.7. And he was more efficient from the field, shooting almost 46%. But there was a lot of injuries this year. Bron missed a lot of time when he pulled his groin on Christmas. But when Bron was out, Kuz could still play with Lonzo, who was another playmaker. And there was also Rondo there. But eventually, the Lakers just underachieved this year because there was just too many injuries. Bron was out, Lonzo was out, B.I. was out. This nigga JaVale got pneumonia somehow. Bro lives in LA. I don't get it. And when they're on the road, you're in the city for like 1, 2, 3 days max. Like, bro was wilding. I don't know how that happened. But anyways, year 3 now, this was a lot of big changes. Because a lot of the people Kuz came into the league with, like Lonzo and Josh Hart, both gone. B.I. also gone. But now you got AD coming in. The Lakers are no longer focused on developing young talent. It's no longer like, oh, we have to make these young guys stars so that they can play with LeBron. Now it's like, nah, we got AD, we have enough to start. We just need these guys to be role players and just fill in. So now Kuz goes from a starter to a bench player. And he's forced to play out of position when he plays with Bron and AD because his natural position is a power forward. That's what AD plays. His second position is small forward. That's what LeBron plays. So now he's out there just standing around in the corner, just shooting threes, spot up, no rhythm type shit, and just playing defense. But I think his problem more wasn't like he couldn't play with LeBron, because I know people love the narrative of, oh, people can't play with LeBron, but he had a career year just playing with LeBron. I think he just couldn't play with both LeBron and AD. Like, it's one thing playing second, but playing third, that was just too much for him. But moving on to year 4, this was a weird year for the Lakers, and this was very weird for Kuz because now he went from possibly the 3rd option to starting out the season as the 5th option. and he was not playing well at that role. To start off the season, he was averaging 11, 1 assist, 6 rebounds, 43% from the field, 34% from 3 in 25 minutes. And the record for the Lakers was 21-7, so they were rolling at this point. But his numbers at this point are like career low. But then eventually, AD gets hurt. So now there's more minutes to play at power forward. So now Kuz goes from 25 minutes a game to 29. Now he's averaging 14.5 points, 1.5 assists, 8 rebounds, 44% from the field, and almost 41% from 3. So now he's looking a lot better. Now he's getting more touches, he's getting more minutes, he's playing with a playmaker, he's doing well. The Lakers are like 7-5. But then eventually now Brown also gets hurt. Now it's no Brown, no AD. And you would think, oh, Kuz got to shine. There's no stars, he's got to do his thing. The Lakers need him. So now he goes from 29 minutes with Brown to 34 minutes a game. Now he's averaging more points from 14 to 15. He's shooting way worse from the field though. Now he goes from 44% to 40. Goes from almost 41% from 3 to 31. But that can really be blamed on there's no backup playmaker on the team at the time. Brown was the literal only one, and Dennis Schroeder could not play that role. He was not that guy. But then Kuz's efficiency eventually goes back up once AD comes back, because now you have somebody else who attracts attention, and now you're getting better looks. So he goes from 41% from the field when AD was out to 48. He goes from 31% from the 3 to 37. So now he's looking a lot better. But eventually, Brown comes back for like 2 games and then is right to the playoffs. They basically got hurt and came back right when it was playoff time. And once the playoffs came, oh my God, Kuz probably had some of the worst playoffs I've ever seen in my life. I'm not gonna lie. This man averaged 7.2 points, 1 assist, 4 rebounds, 24% from the field, and 11% from 3. I'm not gonna lie, the 3-point percentage sounds like something I would expect out of like Flight or something. Bro, he was garbage. And at this point, I'm like, AD's out. This nigga just pulled his groin somehow. Bro was injured for like 7 months, came back, played 4 games, and was done. That nigga needs to check a doctor or something. There's something wrong with his body, bro. But at this point, I'm like, AD's out. Brown does not look 100%. Like, the Suns are just building a wall, forcing him to shoot, forcing his teammates to shoot. And at that point, it's like, Dennis Schroeder, please help me. Do something, bro. Help me. 0-point playoff game. KCP gets hurt, misses a game, comes back. I'm like, KCP, help me, please, please. 0-point playoff game. Kuz, help me. Somebody. 11% from 3. I'm like, all right. At that point, I'm like, I got love for Kuz, but it's about time to pack up. So that brings up the question, was he really just trash for the Lakers? I would say he's not as bad as people make him out to be. He had a bad season this year, but across the board, he improved literally everywhere. You can tell he was actually improving as a role player, even though that wasn't really his game. And there were too many role switches this year. First with Brown and AD both healthy, being like a 5th option, then AD out, then Brown out, then AD back, then Brown back. You're going from like 5th option to 3rd, 2nd, like it was too many changes. And throughout all of that, he still managed to have a better season than he did last year. And another thing is, people I feel like do not give him enough credit for, he had the best defensive rating on the Lakers this year, and the Lakers were the #1 defense in the league. Not only that, he had the 11th best defensive rating in the league of at least like 300 people. And I know that's not the end-all, be-all of defense, but it's still an accurate stat. Like, that's a massive improvement for somebody that used to be considered a defensive liability. For being 4 spots from being a 2nd-round pick, in my opinion, he's overachieved in his career so far. Like, this man made it out of Flint, Michigan, drinking dirty brown water. That's probably why his basketball IQ isn't great. Like, even though his defense has improved a lot, like, I definitely saw him cause a lot of 4-point plays throughout his years on the Lakers. But still, his defense improved drastically. 11th best defensive rating in the league is special. I don't care what nobody say. And honestly, he really did do a great job at adapting his game to a role player for us to win. Became much better on defense, was no longer a liability, was hitting shots at times. Like, he did what he could. I wouldn't say he was trash for the Lakers, I just would say it wasn't the best fit for either party. Lakers needed a wing that can defend and just spot up on offense, and Kuz needs to be on a team where he can get touches and preferably play with a good playmaker. That's why the Wizards, I think he'll have a chance to start, because even though they have Rui Hachimura at the 4, I don't think they have anybody better as a small forward than Kuz, so he'll probably get a chance to start. The only problem is, playing with Spencer Dinwiddie and Bradley Beal is basically playing with 2 shooting guards. So I don't know if he'll really be able to have that playmaker. That might be a bit of a struggle, but hopefully with more minutes, he'll be able to still do his thing. And honestly, Lakers fans can never say he didn't give his all. He was never a locker room problem like Dennis Schroeder over here. First day on the Lakers, I need to be a starter. I need more than 84 mil. I'm a 100 mil player. Just to give me a donut in the playoffs and sign for 5.9 on the Celtics. But Kuz never brought any problems, always played. He dyed his hair and people had problems with that. I really don't know what the big deal was. People just like complaining about a lot of things he did. I think it's just because he played on the Lakers. It's a big market. Everything you do, people see, people judge. But in all honesty, like looking at his comments on Instagram, bro, you would think bro is a war criminal. Like, bro, he still played on a Lakers team that won a championship, bro. These can't be Lakers fans because it's like, he really does not deserve this. I really do hope that he hoops next year on the Wizards. Like, I really hope he ends up becoming a more than 20 point per game scorer. But yeah, I'll always have love for bro. I really saw his whole career. I saw him come into the league as a rookie all the way to year 4. I can never really hate on him. Like, even if he didn't play too well for us at times, it is what it is, bro. At least I know he gave effort. So all I do is just wish him the best of luck. I hope he becomes dumb nice. Hope he gets some all-star appearances at some point. And that's it. It's been real, Kyle. I don't think he was as bad as people make him out to be. But alright, that's all I got for this one. If you made it to the end, let me hold a sub. We're on the road to 500. Join the Taliban, you feel me? But follow me on Twitter at Harden Sheikh too if you want to. And yeah, let me know if you like the basketball vids, because there's definitely a lot more of this coming. But alright, that's all I got for this one, so peace out.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.